You're ready.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I think we'll get started. Councillor Minson joins us for online. Yes. I declare the meeting open at 9:33 and acknowledge that we're hosting the meeting on traditional land of the Whadjuk people, the Noongar Nation, and are joined by people from other lands from around the state. We acknowledge the Aboriginal people as traditional custodians of Western Australia, pay respects to elders past and present, and the ongoing connection between people, land, waters and community. The meeting will be run in accordance with the MIDAP Standing Orders 2024 under the Planning and Development Assessment Panels Regulations 2011. This meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the MIDAP website and in accordance with the Regulation 42A of the Planning and Development Assessment Panels Regulations 2011. Members are reminded to announce their name and title prior to speaking. Panel members may refer to technical devices throughout the meeting to assist them in considering the information before them. I'm Clayton Hyam, presiding member for today's meeting. I have Karen Hyde as the deputy presiding member, Peter Lee as a specialist member, and Councillor Peter Melrosa online from the town of Victoria Park. I have no apologies at this stage. There are no members listed as being on leave of absence, and minutes from previous meetings are available on the website. Declaration of due consideration. All members familiar with the material before you today, if you could show of hands there. Thank you very much. Disclosures of interest. Councillor, did this one go to council meeting?
Not this time, but I believe it has in the past. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, that's fine. I'm seeking the disclosures of interest. Are there any disclosures of interest?
No.
No. No.
No.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll move to the item at Bursman Road, Bursman. Proposed amendment to the 22-storey mixed-use development. Approval. There are no presentations, although Dominic Snellgrove is here to answer questions if there are questions. Panel members, are there questions of the applicant?
I have two questions, presiding member. Thank you. Karen Hyde speaking. Thank you for coming in. Just the first question is just if you could explain the reasoning behind the change, the move to the different typology.
Yeah, a good question. Since the approval, it's the view of the developer market has adjusted and changed, and the demand for a particular type of apartment has increased, and it's really built around their view that affordability is the key issue associated with the next project. So project had what we would describe as a very traditional mix of 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom and 1-bedroom units. What this amendment seeks to do is to introduce some more studio apartments in lieu of the 2-bedroom apartments to provide a greater mix of affordability.
Thank you.
Satisfy a sector in the market for either build to rent or build to sell, which I think is increasing.
Thank you for that answer. I have a second question. The RAR talks to some considerations around the silver standard as a result of their assessment that some modifications may need to be made. The RAL also suggests that that information has been conveyed to yourselves. Could you explain to me what sort of changes might need to be made and how considerable that might be or not, and would that actually form a fundamental change to the floor plans?
No, it's not a fundamental change. In fact, we believe that we're very comfortable with the condition. We believe that they do comply and will comply. So we have no issues with that. There's no fundamental change. In fact, I think in most instances there's no actual change at all. It might just be a misunderstanding in terms of the layouts, but we're very comfortable that we can achieve at least 100% silver standard without any, really without any amendments at all, actually.
Okay, all right, thank you. No further questions
Any
from me.
questions? No. Councillor, any questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dominic. We'll move on to the officers. Robert, any comments at this stage, Stuart? Yes.
Good morning and thank you. I've got some notes here that I can read out, but at this point I trust that you're all very familiar with the report. Dominic's already answered the question regarding the change of typology. You're aware that the total number of dwellings is increasing from 186 as previously approved to 216. The town has considered the issues of plot ratio, visitor parking, some changes to the planning framework, and ultimately the town has considered all of the above and recommends that the application be approved subject to recommended conditions and advice notes. So happy to take questions.
Sure. Questions?
No, none from me. Thank you.
Just it's a query really that it's 3% allowance for EV charging, I think was in there. It's more of a comment whether that's actually enough. I'm not. Has council thought about those sorts of numbers? Or?
I believe those numbers were considered in the original 2021 approval, and that would have been in discussion with our design review panel. There's been, of course, increase in uptake of EVs over the years, and perhaps if this was the amendment was seeking an extension to timeframe, then those kind of considerations would be discussed again with the applicant. Given that they weren't seeking an extension to the time and that the changes didn't have nexus, it's the town's view, to that EV charger percentage, it wasn't really engaged with.
So it's more of a marketing sales thing than a council approval.
The original approval did include concessions to plot ratio and height. We do have a local planning policy where we consider design excellence, including sustainability objectives, being commensurate to the discretion sought. So it's probably in that original context that was originally discussed.
I'm just raising it as an issue. We should probably think about.
Questions? No. Okay. Thank you, Stuart. Move on to the item. Then we have a RAR with a recommendation, firstly to accept as a Form 2 and then to approve it with some modified conditions. Is there a mover for that?
I'm happy to move, presiding member.
Okay. Is there a seconder for that?
Yeah, I'm happy to second that.
Thank you. Karen.
Yes, thank you. I'm comfortable, given the nature of the changes, that this is a Form 2 application. The modifications are minor and they don't make a substantial change to the development proposal. There's been no increase in height or change to setbacks, some very small changes to plot ratio, which the RAR explains very well. No changes to the land uses proposed, and I do note that under the new scheme, those land uses which are proposed, including the commercial aspects, don't require advertising anymore, so they're P uses under the new framework. The RAR explains very well, and I'm comfortable with the assessment that's been done, that there are no additional non-compliance issues, and it's consistent with planning scheme number 2 and LPP 22, which contains the majority of the built form. Thank you for the answer to the question. I understand that this is a market-led and an affordability consideration, which has led to these changes, which is commendable. that the development is becoming perhaps more contemporary to market needs. So, and in fact, I think there's some small improvements to privacy considerations, etc., as a result of the changes that have been made. So I'm very happy to support the approval with the amended conditions and the new condition and new advice note. Thank you.
Thank you, Pip.
I think this is a good development in a location that'll actually really benefit from having eyes on the street and people living there. It's near parkland and near the city and near transport. So it's exactly the sort of thing that we should be encouraging. So very supportive of it.
Thank you. Councillor Melrose, did you want to make any comments?
Would love to. Completely understand the reasons for these amendments. I think they make sense to respond to the local economies and the changes that we see. I think this development is really great. I really want to see it get up. I think we've seen a lot of applications for this site and quite a lot in this area that don't seem to be doing anything. So I really hope that this is actually the change that is required to get substantial commencement happening. This is a key site, obviously, for the Causeway precinct, and having some density and some residents in this area is going to be a game changer and might really signal to the market that the changes are afoot. So yeah, absolutely keen to support this.
Thank you, Councillor. I fully support the comments made by Councillor Melrose that we've seen many applications in this location that don't get past the starting line. I fully support the proposal or the minor changes, and they are minor because it does not make any or have any impact on the overall bulk and scale of the development. And with the minor amendments to the conditions, happy to support it. So back to you, Karen, to close the debate.
Thank you, presiding member. I'm just pleased that applicant and local government are working so well together on this, and obviously there is a desire that reflects Councillor Melrose's hope that this gets on the ground and actually provides much needed accommodation. So full speed ahead.
Thank you. In this debate, I'll now put the motion. All in favour? Unanimously, thank you. Item 5, there's no SAT reconsiderations. In other business, there are a number of SAT applications currently on foot. And I'll close the meeting at 9:05. Thank you for your attendance.
I think the fastest